Latest production from the Country Gate Players over at the Country Gate Playhouse that calls Belvidere home. Absolutely perfect show as we get into the Halloween season. And joining me this morning with some details of their latest production is the founder of the Country Gate Players. And it's great to spend a little bit of time this morning with Bill Scarato here at the RNJ Morning Program. Bill, good morning. Bert Barron, WRNJ. And thanks so much for joining me this morning. Great to spend some time with you.
Well, good morning, Bert, and thanks so much for having me on.
And congratulations, before we get to the show here, 50-plus years with the Country Gate Players and the Playhouse, man. That's a long time to be doing what you're doing. Give me a little bit of the history, if you could, of the Playhouse and of this group.
Okay, well, it was founded by my late wife, Carolyn, and me back in 1973. We had just moved to this area, and we were both teachers in the area, and we had done a lot of theater in college, and we thought, well, it would be nice to continue it. So we kind of started on a very shoestring level and started doing shows in firehouses and in schools, and eventually we grew a nice little community of players that joined us, and eventually we were able to take residence at the former Belvidere movie theater there in Belvidere, and we've been in that building since 1978. And over the years, we've had an opportunity to meet a lot of great people, great theater artists, and just really nice people and everybody's a volunteer, Bert. So, the actors are volunteers, the technicians are volunteers, the people who paint the exterior of the building, they're all volunteers too. So it's really nice to work with a lot of people who have a common goal together, and we're very proud of it, and I've had a great time doing it all these years.
That's great to know. And when people do it for the love of it, Bill, it shows and it really shines. And people want to put their best effort out night in and night out because it's something that's personal to them, which I think makes your place real special. And you don't need me to tell you, Bill, that when you have arts and culture in any community, it just elevates it. It just makes it a better place. You see economically it works out better, socially and culturally. There are positive changes there. And I'm sure in the 50-plus years of what you've been able to bring to the Belvidere area, it's made a positive difference over all these decades. I'm sure it has. It just makes it a better place to be. We've seen it everywhere we go, and what you're doing in Belvidere continues to be a special thing.
Well, thank you very much for saying that, Bert. I agree with you, and we do 4 to 6 major productions a year, plays, musicals, but we also, take a special focus on youth theater, and we do special shows for kids to get them oriented to the shows and get them used to being on stage, and also coming to see shows and appreciating live theater. So it's been a great overall experience for, I hope, the whole community.
That's great. And Bill, anytime you can pass that on to the next generation, it's a special thing to be doing, because these are your future ticket buyers and these are your future arts and culture advocates. So when they get involved at a young age, they want to keep it going too, which is really special. But your latest production, this one has nothing to do with the kids. This is a grown-up show that you got this time around. What's coming to the stage as we move into Halloween?
Okay, well, this is, like you said, this is the time of the year, and we're doing a production of the Bram Stoker novel, an adaptation of the Bram Stoker novel, Dracula. And, of course, Dracula is maybe the most famous horror figure in the history. We know him from the original book over 100 years ago, many adaptations of that novel, movies, plays, TV shows, even cartoons and breakfast cereal commercials are based on Dracula. And of course, Dracula was Count Dracula from Transylvania, and he was actually in real life upstanding citizen. But after he died, he went to the dark side and became the personification of evil. And we might remember, you mentioned Gary Oldman earlier. He had a wonderful rendition of Dracula in the 90s, and go back even further to 1931 to Bela Lugosi's Dracula. Our Dracula is played by a fellow named Brian Lisa from Pittstown, New Jersey, and he takes a more modern view of Dracula in some ways. He's charismatic, seductive, and quite sensual in his approach to finding new blood to drink.
Oh, this is interesting, and boy, the movie just terrified me when that was out in the '90s. But it was just such a great watch, and the fact this latest adaptation of the story here, and like you said, maybe making somebody a little bit more of a contemporary kind of character is really an interesting take on this. And hey, don't forget, a Sesame Street character was based on Dracula too.
Oh,
So
that's right.
That's
That's right.
one.
My children learned to count with him.
That's right. Me too. That's right. That's another one. But this one, a serious show, a little on the scary side, and this is not for the kids. So this is like a grown-ups only production for these couple shows, right?
I agree with
Okay.
that. Yes, there's a lot of violence, there's a lot of blood, and there's some actual sexual situations going on here. So it's intriguing and it's intense and it's scary. I think quite frightening. An interesting take we have on at one point when Dracula comes to England to pursue these two young women for their blood. They call in a vampire hunter named Professor Van Helsing. And usually Van Helsing is played by a male, but we have our own twist on it, and we're playing it by a strong, independent, very smart woman vampire hunter. And she's being played by a woman that your audience might be aware of. She is Stacey Higgins, who is the theater director at Hackettstown High School. And she was a fine actor in her own sense, and we're always very fortunate when we can get her to come over and do a show with us. She did Steel Magnolias with us last year, and she's just fantastic.
That is an interesting twist. I like that. Bill Scarato is with me here, founder of the Country Gate Players, and you do not want to miss this latest production that's going to be coming to the stage there, the classic play Dracula will be taking the stage there in Belvidere coming up. Did you want to give out the schedules and how people can get some tickets for this, Bill?
Okay, that's great. Thank you. The play runs from October 26th through November 3rd. There are various dates and times, but the best way to deal with that is go to our website, countrygate.org. You can pick out your performance, and you can even pick out your seat for that performance, and you can get your tickets all in one stop. And we hope people will come and see it. You know, Bert, it's been kind of a tough comeback from COVID, from the pandemic, as so many places have had. And we're coming back slowly but surely, and we hope people will come. And if they don't mind getting the bejesus scared out of them, come and see Dracula.
Right, exactly. And to see this done live on a stage, I'm sure it's a different experience than what we've seen on the screen over the years. But be a part of this, and some really, really interesting plot lines there. And Bill, as we wind up here, I would be remiss if I didn't let you talk to people about maybe they're listening this morning and recognizing your voice for what you had brought to the radio and media landscape here in Northwest Jersey over a number of years. And people are like, I know that voice. Who is that, though? You want to give a little bit of your radio background?
Well, that's very kind of you, Bert. Yes, back in the day, seems like 100 years ago, I was a DJ on at that point it was kind of a competitor to WRNJ, but everybody's together now, and it was WCRV based in Washington, New Jersey, and I did a record show in the afternoon, and I went by the handle Buffalo Bill, if you can believe that. My voice wasn't as groggly then as it is now, so it was a little better.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, everybody's like, oh, that's right. That's where I heard this guy before. Very good. But really, it was great talking to you today, Bill, and continued success with the Country Gate Players. And this Dracula show is going to be so much fun, and it's perfect for the Halloween season. So thank you for joining me nice and early today. Good luck with everything, and I'm going to get out there and catch one of these productions at your theater very soon. And by the way, where is the theater, in case people are wondering?
Okay, thank you, Bert. The theater is located at 114 Greenwich Street in Belvidere, New Jersey.
Terrific. Excellent. Bill Scarato, thank you again for the time, and good luck with all the performances coming up. Great talking to you today.
Same here. Thank you, Bert.